Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Apologies for this video being a little bit later today. I made some mistakes in my recording and I didn't have enough time to do the recording before stream, so it's a little bit later than normal, but we are doing it now, so welcome back. And we're going to be continuing our Trackmania Royal tutorial series today. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And for now, let's get into it. Okay, so here we are on the new map today. It is called Dungeon Crawler, by SparklingW. And look, this is probably going to start with a bit of a rant. So if you want to skip to the tutorial of the map, skip ahead. There'll be the chapters in the description. But yeah, it's not great. It's really frustrating to have maps that are coming out with the same issues that we've already talked about, and it's the same thing. It's just this blind mapping here. You have no idea where you're going. Like, sure, this first bit's fine. There's the finish there, right? But there's the safe finish over here that you don't know about. It's completely blind. You need something pointing to this, like a red arrow pointing to this, being like risky fin, and a green arrow pointing here, safe fin. That's what you need. You can't have this blind, especially when it's in the guidelines, as I've already been over. It's in the guidelines not to have this. Like, there needs to be good directions, so people know where they're going. This is just the white section. It doesn't get any better. Like, sure, green's fine, I guess. Green has this, though. The green's failable, which I've already talked about how much I hate that. These blind holes, which are awesome. Great job. I love having blind holes, but whatever. And I get that this is the theme of the map and everything, but it doesn't matter. The guidelines still say, tell people where to go. Here is completely blind. Here you just jump and pray, but yeah, on blue you just have to steer right. And it continues all the way through completely until we get to this black section, and I had absolutely no idea where to go. I tried to learn this as you would in a regular Royal game. We're driving and following the path, and I had absolutely no idea where I was going. I had to cam 7, which you can't do in a Royal game, which mappers don't seem to realise, just to figure out exactly where the finish was. Like, I drove down here, I drove everywhere along here, and I couldn't see that the finish was down here, and it's like, it's so frustrating that you have a map like this. Looks absolutely amazing, and that is the only reason it was picked, is because this map looks good, because everything else about it is just bad. Like, and I know this is going to be a personal opinion, but I found no enjoyment driving this. I found this map so boring and just tedious to drive. And that's great, and that's a personal opinion, but the rest is just like, it is blind. Like, the map is just blind. There's no direction where to go. For example, you got to drive on these platforms on black, and it's like, this is the view you have. Sorry, this is the view you have. It's completely blind. You're like, where do I go? It's really frustrating to see these issues continued, and I do want to see it stop, because today I was really frustrated when I drove this morning. It's really frustrating, and it doesn't help that I didn't personally like the map. Like, I didn't find the route fun to drive at all, and that's personal, like a personal opinion, but the fact that it's backed up by being completely blind and just annoying to find your way, and I literally had to cam 7 to find my way, just adds to the woes. And yeah, I want to see this stop. I want to see good Royal maps. Just please start releasing maps where you can see where you're going clearly. You don't have to actually just cam 7 and just learn the path that way. If you want to do good scenery, that's great. Do good scenery. The map looks good, but make sure the route is fun to drive. Focus on the route first, and then build your scenery around that, because this is just... This is terrible. But anyway, we are going to get into the tutorial now. So we're going to start with the white section here. So for white, all we have to do, the 2 finishes. So for this one, you kind of want to make sure you have the gear before you do the jump, and then you'll make this jump. But for the safe finish, all you have to do is drive up the same ramp, not jump, but steer around to the left instead, and this will be the finish. And now onto the green section. For the green section, we want to follow this around, make this jump, which again, I think when you have this sort of thing here, granted the jump's easy, right? That's fine, but having it completely failable as a green section, I think is just not a good idea. I don't think a green section should be failable. If you want to have something like this, that's fine, but make a slower path that's like guaranteed to finish. But anyway, we continue around here and through the finish. The blue section now, the difficulty ramps up a little bit on blue, which I think is fine. It's fine to have your difficulty ramp up a bit on blue. But what we want to do, what I don't like is how blind it is. But anyway, that's another issue. What we want to do is basically stay left. And as we get up here over the booster, we want to full steer to the right and make this jump over here. And then stay left or right of the cage here, make the jump over and through the finish. Okay, and now onto the red section. And again, it's not really clear where to go, but basically what you want to do is build up speed to make this jump. Build up speed again, so we can make this jump. And it's fine to clip on these. You can build up enough speed on the actual platforms here. It's a bit slower, but it's fine. Jump up here. Make this next jump, and then steer around to the right here. Over this little thin plank, I guess. And through the finish here. But again, it's just nothing to tell you where to go, which is just silly. It's just silly. Royal isn't about pathfinding. Royal is about driving the map. And you want to build a pathfinding map, build an RPG or something. Like, it's frustrating, but anyway. Okay, but now for the black section. What we want to do on black is drive off here, follow these platforms along basically. And there's two ways you can do this now. We'll try the platform path. So basically we want to just blindly jump off here again onto more platforms. Follow all the platforms along until we make it to the finish. And this is the finish here. The other way, which is the way I go for, uses... we don't go down the bottom of those platforms. There's another plank and we drive up that. So let's do that. So once again, the start is the same. Just jump down onto these. Make this jump. And here, rather than jumping down the platforms, we're going to use this plank here. And get to here. And now from here, remember, and I'll cam 7 and show you, the finish is just down here, right? So what we can do, you have two options here, basically. You can either drop onto this platform and then jump to the finish. But I think it's probably easier. You just kind of drop off, like drive in this direction here, drop off and just release. But then you need to make the next jump, which you have to build up speed and make the next jump. It's probably easier, but this one is perfectly fine if you have a consistent setup. So what you want to do is drop off with about 100 speed and then just hold accelerate and you drop down. And I turtled that time and went through the finish, but you basically just drop down and generally you land fine. So if you drop off with 100 speed, you can do a little release just as you drop off, like for a split second, and then just hold accelerate and you'll make that drop. So that's the way I'm going for in my Royal games. I think it's the most consistent for me, personally. But those are your options there on the black section. But alright, we'll do another playthrough now. So back on the white section, once again. To make this jump, you kind of just want to smooth steer, get the gears, and through the finish. Now for the green section. Jump here, stay to the left around here so we don't fall in the hole that you can't see, and through the finish. Now for the blue section, once again, stay left here, over the booster, and steer right to make this jump. You want to land it cleanly if possible. Jump around the cage, and through the finish. Okay, the red section one more time. Make this jump. Make the next jump. And this is what I mean, it's kind of, it feels repetitive and boring to me. Like, this is personal, this isn't necessarily anything wrong with the map. Just to me, it just feels very repetitive and boring to drive, particularly this red section and the black section. It just feels like the same thing over and over, and I don't enjoy it that much. But anyway, we continue over this plank and down here. Like, it just feels like there's maybe one too many jumps on red. Like, just shorten it a little bit maybe, and just, I don't know. It just felt very repetitive and boring to me, personally. Okay, onto the black section one final time. Drop off here. Make the jump across the platforms. Make this jump. Again, we're going to drive up this plank here. Start slowing down. We again want to have that about that 100 speed. One little release. and then through the finish. You want to air brake early as well, I should say, on black there. Okay, and then it's going to be Dungeon Crawler by SparklingW. And yeah, I think I summed up my thoughts pretty well about this. It's just too blind again. Pretty sick of having these blind maps. But anyway, I hope this guide does help you out with learning the map. That's going to be all for the video, and I will see you all in the next one.